The retail recession, claims Calombaris. Let's have a look. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great start to the week. Florian Heise here with my stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article sent to me by a Melbourne viewer with regards to the Calombaris restaurant empire on the verge of collapse. Now, this is concerning because, well, it's a continuation of the retail recession which we seem to be discussing every other day, and potentially 500 employees face an uncertain future. 500 people, that's a fair chunk of people. Let's have a look at this, guys. The hospitality empire of celebrity chef George Calombaris is on the brink of collapse and could be placed into voluntary administration as early as this week, with about 500 employees facing an uncertain future. And I should let everyone know, I don't think I've watched MasterChef once in my life. I watched, what's this, reality TV? When that Big Brother thing first came out and the chick had the bunny ears. That was the last time I ever watched it. I kind of turned TV off when I went to university, and I've never really turned it back on. So I guess I'd be like those 44-year-olds that don't culturally fit because I couldn't talk about all the TV shows. But I'd be talking about Joe Rogan every day in the office. So I'd be perfect. Anyway, I better get back on topic. A decision to appoint administrators to oversee maid establishment is set to be made at a meeting on Monday afternoon, months after the ailing business was battered by a major underpayment scandal and a tsunami of negative media coverage. Well, yeah, I mean, the news is what's probably adding to the woes of his business. Even though, I'll bring up the consumer confidence chart, guys, it's going down. People are saving more. Does he offer afterpay in his restaurants? Can you afterpay a restaurant meal? Does that exist yet? I'm being facetious, but I would not be shocked if you could afterpay for it. People are afterpaying for meat, bulk meat purchases. Could you afterpay for a Big Mac? I wonder. The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald have been told by several hospitality sources that senior staff have been informed of the crisis meeting where the fate of the business will be determined. Sources have said employees and suppliers will be paid out under the deal regardless of the outcome of the meeting. Well, hopefully they're not in that much financial trouble. Maybe they see the writing on the wall. The brand's taken too much damage. And let me know in the comments, guys, have you ever frequented one of these restaurants? What are they like? My days of going out and eating at nice restaurants are probably on pause until, the kids are out of the house and Rachel and I can just live like a couple again. So I'm probably not the best person to talk about it. An administrator could be forced to offload unprofitable outlets, while some venues could be offered to existing operators. Calombaris, who left his role as a star judge on MasterChef last year, did not respond to requests for comment on Sunday. MasterChef. I tell you, the show I really loved was Iron Chef, the Japanese show. That was good. Competitive. It was fun. Is MasterChef like that? Do they have special challenges? Let me know in the comments, guys, because I really have never watched it. I'll just pretend in my mind it's like MasterChef, and he's like the master, samurai guy who chops things at light speed and adds crayfish and weird Japanese style combinations to food. I'm sure that's what it is. The fate of 18 restaurants and fast food outlets remains unclear. These include Melbourne CBD venue Ghazi, Savlak chain Jimmy Grant's, Yo Chi frozen yogurt stores, and Calombaris flagship fine dining establishment Press Club, which became Electra Dining in October. So they tried to rebrand it. Well, there you go. So this is not just one. There's a whole series of outlets. In the wake of the underpayment scandal, maid establishment embarked on a major rebranding exercise as Calombaris stepped back as the figurehead of 4 high-profile venues within the group. In December, Hellenic Hotel in Williamstown was relaunched as Hotel Argentina, while Hellenic Q transformed into an Italian restaurant, Vita. Hellenic Republic in Brunswick East reopened as Crofter Dining in mid-January. I mean, would people notice in Melbourne the turnover in the restaurant industry in Melbourne? My understanding is that it is just crazy, the amount of turnover they have there. I know we designed a nice little restaurant for a client, Frankie says, down in Melbourne. He ended up moving on. It's just too much of a I think it was too much work for what it was return was. My understanding was he was making much more money going to the markets and the venues with his portable good quality food. And then you don't have to pay all the rent. The potential voluntary administration comes just 7 months after Maid establishment was ordered to make a large contrition payment as part of an unprecedented deal with the Fair Work Ombudsman for underpaying $7.83 million in wages to 515 current and former employees. All former and current staff were reimbursed. At the time, facing a vicious backlash on social media, Calombaris told the ABC he was gutted and took full responsibility for the scandal, but vowed to maintain his embattled empire and protect hundreds of jobs. Yes, but the social media people never forget. I would be shocked. I would honestly be shocked if he knew what was happening at that level. At that level with regards to payment of its staff. Because it's something you have managers and other people taking care of. And sure, as the owner, it's his final responsibility. But you expect the people you put in positions of authority to act as they should. If you've got issues with wages and perhaps, I would argue, maybe excessive costs on certain days or penalty rates, then you lobby to have those changed. Or you just don't open on those days, as you'll find a lot of restaurants don't now. We aren't closing our restaurants, we're here. And it's my job as their leader to keep pushing forward and keep speaking this message, not shy away from the mistake we made. But also acknowledge that we fixed it, he told 7:30 program. But are you ever forgiven? What else could he have done? Could he have gone hard? Could he have gone hard against these, exorbitantly high penalty rates? Or I've got no idea what happened. Maybe they were just being really dodgy and not paying people their contract awards. I know of, I had a colleague who worked in architectural practice, and he went up to the directors and he insisted on his pay rise as per the award. And they went through it because they didn't realize that the award had changed. So he got that pay rise. No one else in the office did. He didn't bother telling anyone else. No one else actually went to check. It's your responsibility too, everyone. Multi-millionaire Braddock Sally, the former chief executive of the Swiss Vitamins, made an ill-fated foray into the hospitality industry when he took a major stake in Calombaris' restaurants in 2016. However, within months, a string of payroll discrepancies were identified and the Fair Work Ombudsman opened a major investigation. Oh boy. At the time, Mr. Sellers said he was prepared for a few potholes in the books when he first invested, but was unaware of the hundreds of staff that had been ripped off. I mean, that's a good point. You're always going to have a few little, probably honest mistakes that happen in doing this because just how complicated our systems can be. But you usually massage us over and sort it out. But hundreds of staff. The uncertain future of Calombaris' eateries comes just a week after The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald revealed that Dinner by Heston had been consistently underpaying staff since 2015 when it opened in Crown Casino. Tipsy Cake, the company that owns the Melbourne-based diner in Heston and is based in the Caribbean tax haven of Nevis, entered voluntary liquidation in December. Several other high-profile restaurants are the subject of ongoing investigations by the Fair Work Ombudsman over alleged underpayments, including venues linked to Neil Perry, Gulliam Branahim, Tej Izard, following a series of stories in The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald. I mean, just think about this. Why are people having to resort to the Caribbean tax haven to avoid taxes? Maybe rather than Well, maybe we should ask the question, why are our taxes so high in this country? Why are they so high? And the smart people, the wealthy people, the people who have access to, well, perhaps the large accounting firms, are able to get around it all anyway, aren't they? Maybe we need to find other ways. Maybe we need to create incentives to have people actually keep their businesses here in Australia rather than ship it all over there. The hospitality sector has responded by lobbying the federal government to reform penalty rates amidst claims the current award system is almost impossible to comply with. In 2012, Calombaris fueled a national debate about the viability of penalty rates when he noted that some of his restaurants were unprofitable on a Sunday because he was required to pay staff up to $40 an hour. Well, yeah, see, the problem is, guys, the problem is you'll have restaurants that shut down on those days because they're not profitable. You don't go into business as a charity, okay? This is different. This isn't the charity world. This isn't businesses that are completely dependent on the state. This is the market. So when those businesses shut down on Sundays, those are jobs that don't exist on Sundays. That's work that don't exist on Sundays. Those are hours that don't exist on Sundays. This is an example of how the state intervening in wages, artificially inflating the cost of labor, creates unemployment. That's an example right there. So the problem is that wages on public holidays and weekends greatly exceed the opportunity for profit, he said. Yep. And that's true. That's true. But I would be interested to see the actual details of the 7.83 million in wages, because it sounds a lot, but let's have a look. Over how many years? We'll bring that up. What is it? 783. Okay. Divided by 5.5. So it's $15,000. How many years was it per staff? What is that? Where did he start it, guys? When did he start it? 18 restaurants. What was it? 2015? Come on. Discovered the underpayments. Okay, we'll say 2017. Oh, it would be longer than that. It was 2015, wasn't it? Well, 2015. So I'll say, divide that by 4. $3,800. So it could be about, what, 10% underpayment? So could that be underpayment in awards? Could that be underpayment in super? Could it be lost there? Why didn't the staff? Why weren't the staff aware of it, guys? Do people know their own awards? Do people know their own awards? A lot of them, well, they're very complicated. A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't and just trust their employers. So, not that I'm advocating for, what they've done, but I am sympathetic to the idea that the system can be so complicated that you can have issues appearing. I know I've had to deal with it. A lot of people haven't had to deal with it. A lot of people who have opinions about this have never had to try and manage payroll. And in a restaurant with 500 people, different times, operating different places, problems can compound. Look at Woolworths, they did the same thing. Maybe we need to simplify things a bit. A simplified system. Because this type of stuff, all of this, it's going to discourage people from getting into business in Australia, one way or another. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Do you think this is another example of the retail recession, or is it a business that has just been destroyed because of terrible media and his attempts to rebrand have failed? Do you think we need to simplify our payroll system or wages system? And what's your opinion about the single touch payroll? Everything going through the department. Everything. Does that feel like a free market to you? Well, I'm not going to go out of my way to hire an employee. If I can avoid it, I'll probably just do independent contractors as I need it. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions below. Have a great day. If you're a fan and want to support us that little bit extra, we have a Patreon where you can make a monthly donation. You can also join us here on the channel on YouTube and make a small payment, receive badges and emojis. We have affiliate links with Independent Reserve, Amazon, and eBay. We sell merch on the HeiseSays website and PayPal if you want to contribute that way. Take care, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you later.